Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are undertaking a really intensive analysis of a single incredibly rich narrative source.
That's one.
Excerpts from the Gospel of Luke, specifically Luke 1, verses 5 through 25. This whole passage is centered on the priest Zechariah, his wife Elizabeth, and, well, this earth-shattering announcement of John the Baptist's birth.
It's so often just read as a kind of, a nativity prologue.
Right.
But the text is actually a masterclass in historical setting and cultural drama. The moment it starts, it anchors us.
Oh, so?
It says, in the days of Herod, king of Judea. That grounds us immediately in a high-tension political and religious reality.
So that's really our mission today.
I think so. To understand the full weight of that statement, this was not a peaceful time.
Right. You've got this fragile Roman oversight, intense Jewish messianic expectation.
And a constant balancing act by the local aristocracy.
Yeah.
The powder keg.
Okay, so let's really unpack this. We are not just summarizing a story. We're digging into the mechanics of first-century Judea.
The politics? The system of temple service.
And I think most importantly, the profound cultural conflict in the lives of Zechariah and Elizabeth.
Yes.
The question is, if they were living these perfect lives, why was their existence still defined by this core sense of, well, societal failure?
And why does this expert priest, Zechariah, get struck silent for questioning what is supposed to be the ultimate good news?
We have to start with their profiles, right?
We have to. The source is so meticulous in defining their status. And it just amplifies the drama that comes later.
It really does. It paints them as the definition of the religious elite. Zechariah is a priest from the division of Abijah.
A specific, important detail.
And Elizabeth, it explicitly says she's from the daughters of Aaron.
So this isn't just about being religious. They are part of the sacred aristocracy.
The purest lineage you could have to serve in the temple.
And that's what allows the text to deliver its most powerful paradox.
Go on.
Immediately after establishing this impeccable pedigree, the author says they were both righteous before God, walking blamelessly in all the commandments and statutes of the Lord.
That word blameless, it's so strong.
Think about what it means. Their ritual life, their ethical conduct, their obedience to hundreds of laws.
It was all beyond reproach. They were paragons.
Exactly.
So, for a first-century listener, what does this all mean? You have the highest status, the purest lineage, and you're perfectly obedient. They've achieved the ideal life.
And yet,
the very next verse drops the bombshell. They had no child because Elizabeth was barren and both were advanced in years.
And that lack of a child was, well, it was catastrophic in that culture.
Especially for a priestly family.
Especially. Their lineage was literally tied to the continuation of temple service. So while they were internally blameless before God,
externally, society saw it differently.
Yes. Barrenness was often interpreted as a sign of some kind of hidden disfavor. It was a tangible, visible mark of incompleteness.
And that external judgment is what gives the story its incredible emotional weight.
It's all about the reproach.
Which is why Elizabeth, later, when she finally conceives, she says, "The Lord looked on her to take away my reproach among people."
It wasn't just sadness. It was public, agonizing shame that overshadowed their otherwise perfect lives of devotion.
So you have this huge vacuum.
Of people waiting for God to act. And these perfectly righteous priests who seem unable to contribute to the future of Israel. The stage is set.
That's a perfect transition. Let's move from the personal challenge to the physical space where it's all met, the temple, because this wasn't just any old Tuesday.
No, this was the single greatest moment of Zechariah's professional life.
So tell us about the temple service. How was it organized?
It was highly structured. There were 24 divisions of priests. Zechariah belonged to the division of Abijah.
And each division served for a week, twice a year.
That's right. It ensured every priest got a turn.
But the truly extraordinary part, the real career highlight, was offering the incense.
Absolutely.
The text says he was chosen by lot to enter the temple of the Lord and burn incense. So why the lottery? Why was this so rare?
Because there were thousands of priests, just thousands. To ensure fairness, the most sacred tasks, like entering the holy place.
Not the Holy of Holies, but the sanctuary itself.
Right, the room of the altar of incense. That was assigned by lot. For most priests, this duty was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. He would likely never do this again.
Wow. So he's at the absolute peak of his career, in the highest state of purity, when the intervention happens.
And even though he's alone in there, it's an intensely public act.
Because we're told the whole multitude of the people was praying outside at the hour of incense.
And that atmosphere is crucial. The hour of incense was a recognized time of intense communal prayer.
The The fragrance of the incense, it symbolized the prayers of Israel ascending to God.
He was, literally and spiritually, representing the collective longing of the entire Jewish people for God to act.
And in that moment, with the prayers of thousands surrounding him, an angel appears.
And the source gives us that critical detail about his position.
Standing on the right side of the altar of incense. What's the implication there?
The right side, dexios in the Greek, is almost universally a symbol of authority, of power, of divine favor.
So the angel isn't just in the room.
He is standing in the place of favor and authority. It's a subtle but powerful signal that this message has absolute legitimacy.
And despite that position of favor, Zechariah's reaction is just completely human.
Utterly.
He was troubled when he saw him, and fear fell upon him.
I mean, even for a man who lives in the sacred, this is overwhelming.
But that fear is instantly dispelled by Gabriel's announcement. He pivots straight to the news. Elizabeth will have a son, John.
But it's less about personal joy and more about his national prophetic destiny.
Right. The mandate is what elevates this. Gabriel lays out 3 core markers for John.
First, he will be great before the Lord. Second, he must not drink wine or strong drink.
That prohibition is an immediate flag, isn't it?
A huge one.
It's the Nazirite vow. It sets an individual apart for God's lifelong dedicated service.
Precisely. His life is consecrated not just for a time, but from the moment of conception.
And the third marker.
He will be filled with the Holy Spirit, even from his mother's womb. His prophetic mission is inherent. It's divinely guaranteed before he ever takes a breath.
Okay, now here is where it gets really interesting, especially if you know your Old Testament prophecies.
This is the critical aha moment.
John's mission is tied directly to one of the most powerful promises of the prophets. He will go before him in the spirit and power of Elijah.
Which immediately grounds this story in the book of Malachi, the very end of the prophetic books. The promise was that Elijah would return before the great and awesome day of the Lord.
And he wasn't just returning, he was coming to prepare the people.
And the text is specific about that preparation.
John's role is to turn the hearts of the fathers to the children and the disobedient to the wisdom of the just. That's more than just family counseling, I take it.
Oh, it's cosmic. It's covenantal reconciliation. It means reconciling the current generation to the faith of their forefathers.
Restoring true obedience.
It's moral renewal, designed to heal the deepest divisions in Israel's spiritual life.
And the ultimate goal is stated with just stunning clarity. It sums up his whole life's purpose.
To make ready for the Lord a people prepared.
He's the necessary prelude, the ultimate alarm clock.
You couldn't put it better.
So, okay. We have the highest possible authority in the most sacred place, with a man at the peak of his ritual preparation.
And a prophecy tied to the destiny of Israel itself.
And yet, when Gabriel finishes, Zechariah, the expert, expresses this deep, practical doubt.
It's the ultimate irony, isn't it?
He asks, "How shall I know this? For I am an old man, and my wife is advanced in years."
He's looking right past the angel, past the altar, past the prayers.
And he's focused entirely on his own biological limitations. He's asking for empirical evidence in the face of the divine.
He's trusting his own biography over the authority standing right in front of him.
And that's when Gabriel, well, he pulls rank.
He has to. He delivers the reply. I am Gabriel. I stand in the presence of God.
Which is basically the expert setting the record straight.
It is. Gabriel isn't some random messenger. He's permanently positioned in God's counsel. Zechariah is doubting the credibility of the highest possible court.
And the consequences are immediate, the famous muteness.
You will be silent and unable to speak until the day that these things take place, because you did not believe my words.
But we shouldn't see this as just a punishment, should we?
No, not at all. It's a sign. A physical, public sign.
An undeniable one.
It's absolutely a guarantee. The muteness serves 2 functions. First, it confirms the message is true. No mere mortal can instantly mute a priest.
And second,
it prevents Zechariah from undermining the prophecy with his own skepticism. He cannot speak against the truth.
so his silence becomes the very evidence that the truth is at work.
Precisely.
And the people outside, they get it. They were wondering at his delay, because that ceremony should be quick.
He knew something had happened.
And when he finally came out and was unable to speak to them, they realized that he had seen a vision in the temple.
The visual of the silent priest making signs to communicate, it cements the reality of the encounter for everyone.
This isn't a private vision.
Yeah.
It's public, it's demonstrated, it's certified by his physical state. And that brings us finally to the quiet fulfillment. Elizabeth conceives, she hides herself for 5 months.
Recognizing the profundity of what was happening, she sees it as the decisive removal of her societal shame.
It transforms her life of perfect devotion into one of complete fulfillment. What a story.
Far deeper than it seems on the surface.
So to synthesize this for everyone, we pulled three major nuggets today. First, the incredible rigor and rarity of that priestly service. Zechariah's duty wasn't a job.
It was a career-defining, once-in-a-lifetime moment.
Second, we uncovered the monumental scale of John's mission. It wasn't just personal destiny.
It was the specific fulfillment of Old Testament prophecy, that Elijah connection, designed to prepare the entire people.
And third, the non-negotiable authority of Gabriel's message. Even the slightest doubt from the highest priest leads to a physical transformation.
That becomes the public guarantee of the prophecy.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? I think this source sets an incredibly high bar for what it means to be ready.
It really emphasizes that before a major moment of divine action, there is intense preparation.
Preparation that often requires transforming our deepest sources of doubt or shame.
Exactly. And it shows that sometimes the most personal messages are delivered in the most public and professional of settings.
That's well said.
So here's a final thought for you to mull over. If John the Baptist's singular mission was to make ready for the Lord a people prepared, what is the most significant element of preparation that you are currently being asked to develop in your own lives? Is it the willingness to trust, the dedication to righteous obedience, or maybe an openness to prophetic expectation?
Something to think about. We look forward to diving into the next stack of sources with you next time.